as Honorable Mulunda said, feel free, this is your committee, and we are just here to ask questions as to what happened during the period under review. So with that said, I would like to ask you to take us through your report. You read the title of the query, for instance, drilling and installation of a solar panel borehole. Let me put on my glasses. Yeah, you read the title of the query. You say 40.1 Management of Community Projects, KAWAMBWA Central. A, drilling and installation of a solar-powered borehole, Paraffin Primary School. It's paraffin?
Yes, Chair, it's paraffin.
You cousins of mine. Kambamba. Paraffin Primary School. If it was Eastern Province, it's going to be headline. Now you see. No, paraffin. Yeah. Okay, Paraffin Primary School. So when you read that, you go to the management response, which is the cause of the query. You take us through in that order. Thank you. Start with paraffin.
Thank you so much, Chair. Yes, query number 1, Chair, is management of community development, community projects, KAWAMBWA Central, drilling and installation of a solar-powered borehole at Paraffin Primary School. Cause of query. Management Chair acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wish to report that the borehole, which was not functioning at the time of audit, was due to the collapsed underlaying material, thereby causing PVC pipes to disassemble, allowing silt coarse material in the borehole. Further, Chair, the contractor was engaged to mobilize on site to rectify the defect in April, of which a response was given requesting time to mobilize from the contractor. This regrettably led to the ablution block not being in use by the time of audit. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the contractor has worked on the borehole and the ablution block is in use right now. The remedial measure. Management wishes to inform the committee that Council will continue enforcing the defect liability period in the contract. Query number 2 on Pambashe constituents. Delayed completion of approved projects. Cause of query, Chair. Management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to report that the delay in completion of approved projects was due to the late receipt of funds, which came into the account after the end of the year. Further, the local authority initially budgeted for the procurement of the police motor vehicle and ambulance. However, guidance was given that funds were already deducted centrally, hence the funds were varied to construction of 1x2 classroom block at Kanengo and construction of a staff house and 1x3 at Alex Primary School. For the provision of electricity, a memorandum of understanding was signed with Rural Electrification Authority. At the time of audit, the Council had requested RIA to undertake the feasibility survey. Action taken, Chair. Management has since implemented the projects such as construction of police station, Mushota, Chivote, and construction of maternity wing at Chitotela village, and other projects such as procurement of ambulance and police were varied to construction of 1x2 Serabi at Kanengo and construction of staff house at Alex. Remedial measures, Chair. Management to ensure that all the projects are implemented within the stipulated period. Cross-cutting issues, Chair, query number 3, Appendix 1, budget. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding and wish to state that the retained funds were withheld for the purpose of construction of chiefs' palaces and insurance of motor vehicles. Further, the balance on 2023 CDF funding against expenditure relates to 2023 CDF programs that were ongoing at the end of the year. Action taken, management wishes to report that reconciled 2023 CDF performance was completed and the results, Chair, are as shown here below. Remedial measures, management to ensure that projects are implemented on time. Query number 4, Chair, retained for chiefs' palaces. Cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to report that the retained money was already allocated for construction of Senior Chief Mshota's palace. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that construction of the Senior Chief Mshota's palace is currently progressing well. This is shown on Appendix C. Remedial measures, management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to implement projects on time as and when approvals are secured or as per approval. Query number 5, Chair, total unspent funds. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observation of the auditor and wishes to report that the unspent funds was due to late receipt of funds, which delayed procurement process. Action taken for KAWAMBWA Central, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council has managed to spend 2023 CDF and the status as shown in the table shown below, Chair. Under Pambashe, the action taken, Chair, management wishes to report that the Council has spent 2023 CDF and the results are as shown in the table below. Under Pambashe. Remedial measures, Chair, management to endeavor to implement the projects as and when approval is secured. Query number 6, unspent funds, community projects. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observation of the auditor and wishes to report that the unspent funds on community projects were due to late receipt of funds, which delayed in procurement processes. Action taken, Chair. Under KAWAMBWA Central, management wishes to report that Council has since spent the sum of 9,702,691 kwacha 8 ngwe 2023 CDF, and the results are as shown in the table below. Management wishes to report that the Council has spent, that is for, sorry, Chair, that is for, allow me, Chair, to make a correction on page, in the table on page 8, where we have in column, in the column which is showing balance as at 31st December 2023, it is expected to read 2024.
Okay, the table below.
Yes, sir. Under KAWAMBWA Central, I think it's similar correction, Chair. And in the same column, it is supposed also to read 31st December 2024.
Okay.
Remedial measures, Chair. On this matter, the Council will ensure that projects are implemented on time. Query 7, unspent funds, empowerment grants. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observation of the auditor and wishes to report that the unspent funds on grant was due to late submission of bank details by beneficiary groups. Action taken, Chair. Under KAWAMBWA Central, management wishes to report that Council has spent the total of 2,150,950 kwacha on 2023 CDF, and the results are shown in the table below, Chair. Under Pambashe and action taken, management wishes to report that the Council has spent a total of 2,151,856 kwacha on 2023 CDF, and the results are shown in the table below. Remedial measures. The Council will ensure that grants are paid on time to the beneficiaries. Query 8, secondary school, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observation of the auditor and wishes to report that the unspent funds on secondary boarding skills development was due to low enrollment and uptake, especially from Pambashe constituents, as most vulnerable students could not manage to pay for fees for meals, accommodation, and safety attire. This is because in the beginning, the component of meals and PPE were not part of sponsoring package. Action taken, Chair. Under KAWAMBWA Central, management wishes to report that the Council has spent the total amount of 9,653,265 kwacha on the 2023 CDF, and results are shown in the table below. Under Pambashe, management wishes to report that the Council has spent the total of 9,735,017 ngwe on the 2023 CDF, and the results are shown on the table below. Remedial measures. The Council will ensure that bursaries are disbursed or spent on time. Query 9, unspent funds administrative cost. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observation of the auditor and wishes to report that the unspent funds on administrative cost was due to most of the projects, grants and loans, bursaries were implemented in 2024. Action taken. Under KAWAMBWA Central, management wishes to report that funds for 2023 CDF administrative costs have been spent, and the status are shown in the table below. Action taken, Chair. Under Pambashe, management wishes to report that fund for CDF administrative costs have since been spent, and the status as shown on the table below. Sorry, Chair, I think we did not, we apologize. I think we did not bring out the remedial measures under this query.
Okay.
Query,
you can proceed, you are forgiven.
Query number 10. 2022 community projects. Cause of query, management wishes to report that the Council has managed to implement all the 2022 community projects with the support from the means of local government and staff for KAWAMBWA Town Council. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that the Council has continued to implement the projects for 2023. The remedial measures, Chair. The Council will continue to implement projects on time. Query number 11, community projects. Cause of query, management wishes to report that the failure to implement was due to the late receipt of funds which delayed the procurement processes. Action taken, Chair. Management wish to report that the outstanding 3 projects which were not implemented, 2 have been implemented, such as procurement of the low bed truck, a compactor, and the remaining one, which is procurement of water bowser, which needs additional funds, will be implemented in 2025. Further, Chair, management has reconciled the 2023 CDF community projects performance, and the results are as shown in the table below. The remedial measures, Chair, are that management will endeavor to implement all the projects within the stipulated time frame. Query 12, Chair. Analysis of performance, youth, women, and community grants. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the findings of the auditor and wishes to state that the over-expenditure under Pambashe constituents for 2023 grants relates to balance brought forward from the 2022 allocation. Action taken, Chair. Management has reconciled the 2023 CDF grants. Performance and results are shown in the table below. The remedial measures, Chair. Management will ensure to secure approvals on time and implement accordingly. Query 13, performance analysis, soft loans. Cause of query, Chair. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor and wishes to state that the total number of approved applicants is lower than the total number of initial applicants due to some applicants not meeting the requisite requirements or the requirements following appraisal by the bank. Further, the balance brought forward from 2022 was due to late receipt of guidance on the disbursement of soft loans, which led to late approval. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that a reconciliation of the loan performance has been done, and the results are as shown in the table below. Further, unsuccessful applicants were advised to make corrections and reapply for reconsideration. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will endeavor to secure approvals on time and ensure timely disbursement of funds to beneficiaries. Query 14, failure to recover loans. Cause of query, management wishes to report that the failure to recover the loans was due to non-remittance of monthly repayment by loan beneficiaries in accordance with the loan agreement. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that Council has written to loan beneficiaries reminding them to pay their monthly premiums according to the loan agreement. Remedial measure. Management wishes to report that the Council will endeavor to promote commitment to repayment of loans by beneficiaries by ensuring continuous sensitization and retaining ownership of loan property by the Council until full payments are made. Query 15, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the findings of the auditor. The difference between the number of applicants and sponsored beneficiaries for secondary school bursaries for KAWAMBWA was due to unreconciled records. Action taken. Management wishes to report that a reconciled CDF 2023 boarding and skills bursaries performance was completed and the results are shown in the table below. Remedial measures. Management to ensure timely reconciliation of records and implementation of approvals. Query 16. Analysis of performance of desks. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation of the auditor and wishes to report that the unspent funds on procurement of desks was due to late receipt of funds, which delayed in the procurement processes in order to meet the planned target. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the Council has since procured all the remaining 3,502 desks and the costs of 5,261,000 and delivered to schools. Remedial measures. Management to ensure that approvals are secured on time for timely implementation. Chair, that ends my report.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary. It's 10 minutes to 13 hours. We break for lunch. We resume at 14 hours exactly for follow-up questions. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.
KAWAMBWA, Town Council have just submitted their report, and the delegation is actually being led by Mr. Andrea Wali, who is the KAWAMBWA Town Council Secretary. And so after lunch, we expect members of the committee to ask follow-up questions or points of clarification. Just about now, we take a break. Remember, we have another witness that's coming after KAWAMBWA, and that's KAWAMBWA Town Council. We take a break and do have a lovely afternoon.
The National Assembly of Zambia, through the Parliamentary Budget Office, with the support